Coming to you from out here one more time at the hideout. It's Wednesday morning. I just decided to come out and have an overnight for sanity, I think, you know. I've got some upcoming doctor's appointments that I'm not really looking too forward to, and of course, as most of you probably know, talking to lawyers is absolutely no fun whatsoever anytime you do it. So I just needed a little bit of a sanity break. Seemed like a nice time. It's rained for a couple of days, and now we got a front coming through that's kind of cool. It's only supposed to be 84 degrees today and get down to 58 tonight, so I'm definitely looking forward to that after the 90 and 95 degree weather we've been having constant. I'm just going to kind of mill about and hang out today. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of cooking or bore you with a bunch of just sitting around. I've got one little walk to take. It's about a half a mile or so, and I want to show you guys a little find that I found over here in the woods. So hang in there, everybody, and let's do an overnight. It's about noontime now. Camp all set up, been just kind of hanging out for a while, trying to solve one of the issues that I've been having ever since I started with the hammock, and that's been how to deal with the backpack. So it took me about 10 feet of paracord and 4 sticks and tied them rascals together. And I got a pretty decent little tripod thing there to set my backpack on. While the day's so young and we're all so beautiful, I think I'm going to go ahead and take that walk here in just a minute or two. Get hydrated up, and so I don't have to carry any water with me. It's not all that far, and it's definitely not hot today, so everything should be copacetic on that one. The tripod thing I think is going to work out well. I don't have to reach for a jug of water in the middle of the night. I have a 2-liter hydration hanging right there, so that solved 2 issues. So I think I'm going to get the camera off the tripod and head right off over in that direction, about a half a mile. Come with me. A little quick shot of the camp there as I walk out into the woods. If everybody's noticed, I set up kind of open this time. Generally I'm down to the ground a little bit. Tonight I think it's going to be a nice enough night that 360 view is going to be good. Took a couple of extra minutes there before I left camp. Gave myself a shot of some mosquito repellent and sprayed some stuff around my ankles and my boots. Hopefully I won't get ate up while I'm on this little journey. You see down through here, when we get a decent rain, there is a little river that comes through here, but it doesn't last very long. Kind of just disperses off into that little flat spot right out there. Yeah, we're just about ready to come out of the woods here. I'm actually headed across property lines here. Have permission to go across the property line. That's not an issue. An issue right now is finding a way out of here. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, look at there. Fresh berries. I'll have to get some of them on the way in. A couple of videos ago, I had some coyotes, and this is where they were. They were running through the edge of this little field. It continues on down that way for quite a ways, but we're going to disappear into that little patch of woods right over there. A month or so ago, this was a deer trail right through here, and you can see that it has grown up quite nicely. I found this one little spot over here. I got up early one morning and decided to take a little walk. Found that deer trail and just kept following it, and lo and behold, it led me right here, which I see has changed since the last time I was over here. As you can see, there's no water Last time I was over here, you can kind of see the depth on the trees out there. Probably not over a foot, foot and a half. But the thing I was hoping to catch is, it's been here with all these rotten trees for so many years. It has nowhere to drain, so it just has to sit here till it soaks in. It bubbles methane. It doesn't smell bad over here, but you can tell what it is. And you look out on the little pond area there, and you can see the bubbles coming up. Yeah, from this angle here, you still see the deer trail a little bit. And done a walk through and hopped over this log and went right off that way. I would imagine this is a pretty good watering hole for them for a while. There's deer tracks all the way around it, so they're drinking the water, whether it's any good or not. They're getting rid of it, or some of it. I decided to take the long way home. See the big old grapevines right up there on the hill behind me. They raise tobacco, and it looks like this year they're not raising any. But I did kind of see this off in the distance a little bit. Kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. Looks like maybe a long lost forgotten deer stand. Chained to the tree. And by the way it looks, yeah, it's been there a few years. Chain's pretty well grown into the tree. Now the old tree is dead. One probably didn't have anything to do with the other. Making my way back to camp, come upon this marker here. It actually marks 3 different pieces of property. The one I'm standing on right now, can't really see it too well, but there's a fence row. It goes right down through there, an old fence row. You kind of see some of it there on the ground. And the piece of property back this direction belongs to a new fella. And this is the old family property that I'm staying on over here. I don't think there'll be any problems, especially not with the piece of property that I'm standing on. And I hope the guy that bought that piece of property behind back there doesn't want to be an idiot about it. It's not like we're going over there camping. We got plenty of room over here to do that. It's just don't come up and set up a deer stand 15 feet from my campsite and expect me not to take it down. Get in the little areas like this, the stick comes in handy sometimes, except besides being able to walk good with it, to knock some spider webs down every once in a while. Get out of here. I really wish the camera would do justice to the ground right along here, as I have found the perfect place to put up a game trail camera. They're absolutely making a super highway down through here. About 1/8 of a mile from the camp yet. May have to look into that. It'd be interesting to see the varmints down here at night. There's possum tracks and coon tracks both along this same little muddy spot. Came in on the north side of the camp right next to the new property line there. You can see it's all about the same country. Not a whole lot of difference. They said I wanted to come in the long way back to camp. And I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it's right out there in front of us. Not trying to be too stealthy. Definitely not worried about that. Not back here. And no, here I don't practice leave no trace, because I'm coming back. I'm not destroying the place anyway. So with that in mind, I don't try to rustle over my fire pit or anything like that. That's a pretty decent little walk. Like I said, it's nice and cool today. It's probably, I don't know, it may not even be 80 degrees or a little above yet. And I ease back in here and just kind of hang out in the hammock for a little bit. And give me a big drink of water. Take a break. Just completed a little test there that I've been working on for a little while now. I'm happy to report the test results are positive. I have absolutely no light leaks in my eyelids. They seal completely off. I just woke up, been asleep for about an hour. Couldn't help myself. It just got so peaceful over here. Got the hammock rigged up. I went ahead and put the underquilt on. I kind of learned something about the underquilt thing. You really need one, guys. If you have trouble with all the covers that you're trying to stay warm with inside the hammock, get rid of them. Put the covers on the outside, you know. Get you a good sleeping bag. Just leave it unzipped if you can't afford a good top quilt, you know. Like tonight, I'm using the little fleece blanket again. And it works really good. It's long enough I can wrap my feet up in it kinda and tuck them away. But if you don't have an underquilt on there, and you know, even if it's 70 degrees outside, that don't provide much insulation. And you're going to get cool from the bottom. So I learned that lesson. Thank you, Shug Emery. Real quick. It's probably in the high 70s right now. It hasn't gotten very warm at all today. So it was a nice afternoon to take a nap. And finish the test on light leaks. That was good. The bag seems to like the tripod I made for it quite well. Like I said, it's easy enough to lay here in the hammock and get a drink if I get thirsty in the middle of the night. And I didn't realize it till I unzipped the sleeping bag compartment at the bottom. But it actually makes a nice little tray. You got the, you know, flashlight laying in there, and tonight I'll lay the camera there so I can get a hold of it in case anything decides to come into camp here, which is likely. I think I may take another little walk. There's a place I want to see, camped out to, been over a year ago now. And it's not that far from here. It should be dry down through the bottom, so I may take another little walk here before dark. Brought some hot dogs to cook over the fire tonight. And the way the temperature feels, a little fire will probably feel good about dark 30. It'll start getting cool. Just stick around. On this little walk, I'm kind of headed southwest away from the camp. You've seen this one spot down here. I came down and the water was up after a real big rain for several days. But the last couple of days of rain have already pretty much gone away down here. So instead of going around the property line, sorry about that camera sway there, I'm going to cut straight across here. I'll let you see what I'm looking at. Right down through there is the direction I'm headed. And it was a little while ago, I believe I heard some turkeys cackling up on that hill, so I may walk back around the hill. For those guys out there and girls that really love grapevine, this spot right here is just absolutely full of them. All the way from the ground to the top of the trees. One of the first places I looked at to put up a little solo camp was right up here on top of this. It's a little ridge leading up to a cedar thicket right up here at the top of the hill. It's kind of nice, but it's a little too close to a couple of houses. Yeah, right now I'm standing
pretty much in the middle of the campsite. I haven't been over here for a while. I think some other guys camped over here a couple of times. It was a nice place. Nice place. But my issue with the place right here is these big old trees. And they're all leaning this direction. It kind of bothers me in a wind. And as you can kind of see there, our fire back, it held up a little bit. Doesn't look too sturdy, and I'm not going to mess with it. But this was a good place, you know. It's just like a little too close to a couple of houses right up here behind me. Back up on the hill over there. That's the little cedar thicket that I was referring to there. All in all, a nice spot. I see somebody brought some fence posts over to do something with. But I'm going to retrieve my hanging stick there. Hung my walking stick on it. That has been here for a while. I stuck that in the ground myself. And it's, oddly enough, I don't know whether this thing will stay in focus, but it started springing leaves. That's going to go back over to my camp with me. Came up on this interesting tree here. I believe it would be an ash. Pretty much looks like any other normal tree down here. Kind of leaning. Most of them have a little lean, but when you get down to the ground, it seems to have wanted a buddy. Yeah. It grew a complete another tree right there on top of the ground. Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah. He wanted a little pal too, but his little buddy didn't make it. I think he died this year. It looks like the way the root's sticking out over there, it's gonna try again. Yeah. Little evidence of Mr. Coon sitting there. Mother Nature's kind of strange, ain't she? Coming back into camp from the southwest. That little hike didn't take too long. He said, I'm not trying to be stealthy over here. There's no need in that. But I'm not trying to stick out like a sore thumb either. It's just not my style. Probably same with the building a fire. You guys are pretty familiar with my fires by now, and I suppose I'm the big fan of an Indian fire. Just what it takes to do what you need to do. No big bunch of hullabaloo. Oh, it sure is nice over here. Yeah, I'm just going to hang out here at the camp for a little while. Hang out with me. I just wanted to take a minute and wish everybody a happy 4th of July. That's coming up. I don't think I'll be doing a whole lot. Maybe staying at the house, go over to the boys' house or something. I just got to say real quick that I'm not a flag waver, although you do see this one. That flag there has been with me in a year and a half on every camping trip that I've gone on. And at this count, it's about 68 last year and up to now. Just overnights, 2 days. I did a 5-day New Year's thing down at Land Between the Lakes. I wish I'd have had the camera and everything set up down there because I had a great time. But the 4th of July, I think, has become a holiday where everybody just tends to think of it as a couple of days off from work, an excuse to get drunk. As soon as it's over with, the flag goes back in the closet, and we kind of don't see much patriotism till next year. I'm not that way. Now, on a lighter note, coming back out of the bottom there, I got a couple, 3 or 4 mosquito bites on me. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to bring a clock to the woods. I'm saying it's probably 3 o'clock or so. I'm getting a little hungry, so I'm going to put up a little bit of a fire here to
kind of ward the bugs off. There's a few flying rascals coming around here now. I haven't gotten bit back up here in the camp, but I want to make sure they didn't follow me up the hill maybe. Had a couple of mosquitoes buzz around me here. So it doesn't really matter what time it is. At least it's not 90 degrees. I'm going to get me a little smoky fire going here. I gathered up a little bit of some stuff that was laying on the ground there and put it on top, so it does smoke a little bit, I hope. This fire is kind of dedicated to a friend of mine who's a big fan of the teepee type fire. You'll know who I'm talking about. Let's see if this thing goes up in smoke. A little bit of dry stuff on the bottom I hope will catch. There's a whole lot of this twisted vine around here that's dead. I'm going to burn a little bit of it and see if it'll make any kind of kindling at all. Snaps. Pretty dry. Hanging up in the trees. I'll lay that little piece right across there. It'll stay. We'll see if that'll actually catch on fire. If it will, I've got a lot of tinder hanging in the trees around here. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Got a hawk squalling. I hope he comes by. I've heard him over here a couple of times before, but I've never been able to see him or capture him, just hear him squalling as he flies over. Got a nice little smoker going. It's just got kind of a haze hung over the campsite here. And as of right now, I'm not being pestered. Kind of looks like this is not going to make very good kindling. It kind of really doesn't want to go up. It just kind of lays there and smokes. So I guess now I know what I can put on the fire to get a smoker going. I was moving a little bit of wood around to get me some of this hardwood laying here in this pile. And right there, center screen, is one of the spiders that we deal with. Now I'm going to put a flashlight on him. I don't know if he'll run off or not, but I really want you to see him. To kind of get an idea how big he is. I'm guessing, leg tip to leg tip, about the size of a 50-cent piece. More than likely a female. Here again, if you can see it well enough, if it stays in focus. What kind of spider is that? Anybody know? Yeah, I decided to wait for a little while instead of fixing me up a couple of hot dogs. I just waited, and I'm going to go ahead and have dinner. Which is going to be 3 all beef frankfurters. And a can of Bush's baked beans. Just going to kind of mix them together, make my own beanie weenies out of the deal. I'll let that cedar that I put on there first to smoke a little bit. It's gone. Add a couple of pieces of hardwood. I'm believing this is elm that I've got on here now. There's trees down over there, just a little ways. Just come out of the top of it. But it no longer smells like cedar, so my hot dogs won't smell like cedar and taste like cedar. Got the beans on getting hot. Raked a few little coals up under the cup there. Need to stir that. And got the dogs on the fire. Simple dinner. Down and dirty tonight. I think I'll call this 3 dogs deep in a cup of beans under the porch. Well, it's that time of the evening to sit around the fire and have a pull or two off the pipe, a little shot of hot water, and listen to the traffic tonight. Quite a bit right now. Fire feels kind of good. Cooled off this afternoon pretty quick when the sun went down, and it's promising to be a really cool evening over here. I hope so. Those 80-degree nights, I don't care much for an 80-degree night. I kind of wanted to give a little shout to my new YouTube friends. I'm not going to name any names right now. I'm going to have to get a little list together. But I have some new friends in England, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, and the Isle of Wight. All gentlemen pretty much like myself. Get just completely fed up with the everyday work world, and got to get away, you know, got to get out here and sit where most of the time there ain't nobody else, you know. So to all my friends, you know who you are, and I'll mention you later. Cheers. Also, I don't want to forget Canada. Hey. Been a pretty good day. Got a little nap in. Took a couple little walks. Just kind of kept a smoky fire going. Yeah, I'm going to sit and enjoy this one for a little while and crawl in the hammock. See what the night brings for wildlife. I haven't had any around so far this afternoon. No. Hopefully it will be a good night. I'll talk to you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I've been up for about an hour. Slept really good last night. Good night's sleep. It's probably in the low 50s this morning. Just a little bit of a chill in the air, but not bad enough to need a jacket or anything. I'm just going to kind of hang out for a little bit this morning. I need to get back to the house. The grandson and myself got a little project going on, which I'll let everybody in on a little later. But just needed another night out, you know? And I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. I did just do the trip to Panther Creek last week, and it was a nice trip. I enjoyed myself. But doctors, lawyers, sometimes it just almost wants to make my head explode, seems like. So a little bit of peace and quiet goes a long way. So I'm glad everybody joined me. Hope you enjoyed it. And it's probably going to be a week or so, I guess. You know, the 4th of July coming up and all. We're going to be a little bit busy, but I'll be heading back out. Going to try to make another trip down between the lakes. Hopefully. Until next time, just waiting for the next big adventure.